Hi, I'm Mark Brace, Senior Aviation Security Analyst at Osprey Flight Solutions, bringing you this week's updates. This week, the Osprey system has registered a total of 1,955 incidents that we call pings, and the analysis team has published 35 alerts since last Thursday, of which 13 were critical. Unsurprisingly, some of these covered Houthi drone attacks targeting Saudi Arabia, the latest coming this morning. We featured Osprey Explore charts illustrating this activity before. However, I'd like to highlight this chart, which shows the huge increase in disruption caused by these ongoing attacks in the past few months, when flights have had to hold, sometimes for hours, or divert, including overflights avoiding the area, at airports not just in the southwest of Saudi Arabia, but regularly at Jeddah and Riyadh. Every one of these has an associated cost in time and fuel. These attacks, along with more Israeli airstrikes into Syria last night and a rocket attack on an airbase in Iraq, are representative of the tensions between Iran and its proxies and other regional powers. It'll be interesting to see how the timing and frequency of these incidents are driven by the progress of strategic nuclear dialogue that the US has now joined. Elsewhere, there's been significant press coverage of escalating tensions between Ukraine and Russian military movements towards its borders with Ukraine. While there's been an uptick in activity in the past couple of weeks, it's easy to get caught up in some of the political rhetoric. And as this Osprey Explore chart shows, conflict zone activity in eastern Ukraine is nowhere near levels previously seen in the past 2 years. While Russia says it's engaging in military exercises in the area, itself not out of the norm, it remains unclear whether there are any more concerning intentions, and we continue to monitor the situation closely. In aviation-related COVID news, there have been signs of the relaxation of restrictions applying to air crew and passengers, particularly if they've been vaccinated. For example, Hong Kong authorities reportedly issued advice to operators suggesting vaccinated aircrew can avoid mandatory quarantine. And the US CDC said that vaccinated individuals are at low risk and don't need a test or to quarantine when travelling domestically, but should still wear a mask and avoid crowds. And finally, on the 4th of April, an Ethiopian Airlines Boeing 737 cargo aircraft managed to land at the wrong airport in Zambia. The flight from Addis Ababa to Ndola touched down at the new Copperbelt International Airport, which is still under construction, rather than the current Ndola Airport 15 kilometres away. After construction workers gesticulated to crew, they promptly turned around and took off again to make the short hop back to the right airport. Fortunately, no damage was sustained. While this isn't the first plane to land at the wrong airport, remarkably, about 2.5 hours later, a second Ethiopian Airlines 737 approached the airport before going around at very low altitude. Thanks for watching. Feel free to leave any comments on what I've covered, and please join us again for next week's update.